Hi guys. So if you want to improve your programming skills and you want to leverage Leet code to do that, watch this video till the end. We are doing this live video in which if you're a student or if you're intermediate
Hi
programmer
guys.
or a senior programmer, whatever wherever your situation is, we are going to tell you few things which will help you excel not only in school in your programming task but to grab a job in companies like Facebook, Amazon, Google, and the big giants, right? So with me, I have Priyank, who is in Dallas University Community College, and he's doing a web development course. So I'll be guiding through, and then whatever questions we will keep it interactive. So Priyank is going to ask few questions, which I am going to answer, and you guys please feel free to leave the comments what you additional want to know, so me and Priyank can do a follow-up session to answer all whatever you might have. So Priyank, hi, how are you?
I'm good, Premji. I'm good. How are you?
So could you tell me about yourself a little bit to our viewers?
Yeah. So, Premji, I'm doing, hi to all the viewers. I'm doing web applications developer certificate from Houston Community College. And I'm trying to focus my training on Python programming. So, beyond the college courses, Premji suggested and other people also suggested that leadcode.com is a very good resource for practicing coding and also for demonstrating one's experience to jobs, companies. So in this video, I'm just putting forward 6 or 7 questions which I have regarding how to navigate leadcode.com because I'm new to computer programming and I'm also new to leadcode.com. So I have some very general questions regarding how to use this website for a beginner.
Okay, wonderful. So let's answer first question which Priyank has. So what exactly is lead code and how to navigate it? So now I'm going to give the brief about it. So Priyank, are you able to see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, wonderful. So right now I have opened a site which is LeetCode, which is proven to be a website which helps programmer and students to improve on their coding skills. So it has several sections. It has a free section and or like it's free basically, but you could always go with the premium. So we'll cover at the pricing and all the details later. So just go and go to leadcode.com. We are also sharing this link in the description of this video. So once you go here, what you see, they have different tabs, which is problems, mocks, and then they have contests, they have discussion and exploration. So let's first go through the exploration process or the tab. So this is a new tab, and what it does is,
Premji, I can see your screen, but not the window.
oh, okay, no
Yeah, I can
worries.
see the desktop.
Let me fix that. Hey, thanks for telling me. I was sharing the other screen. So I guess now you would be able to see here, right? So is it okay, Priyank?
Yeah. Now it is visible. Thank you, Premji. Yes.
Sure. So once we go to the explore, what exploration gives is they have featured basically when. So what basically lead code is? Let's first understand. So lead code is a website which started with some bunch of problems which programmer will come and then do the practice. The students or higher level or whatever whoso wants a job in big company, so they would go and practice on these programming puzzles. Then they have extended and they have also added the mock interviews, which means there is a format of these companies like Google and Facebook, right, and Amazon, that they would not hire you if you don't know how to code. And if you can code effectively in less number of time, a very optimized code, they are going to give you whatever money you want. But before taking you, they will ask you to do some live coding. You should have some standards, basically some kind of understanding inbuilt. So that is how their filtration process. So it is little bit different for each company based on what they work on. So Facebook is mainly, commercial. Basically, Facebook also have the marketplace, but they are mainly into the social networking, like LinkedIn. So they have more graphs and trees and that kind of structure. Google is little bit different, right? So based on that, they would have a core focus on what kind of problems or the programs they will give you to solve. Fine. So if you are a member here, you can just once you have the login, you can start the mock interview. As soon as you click on start, it would give you two questions to solve. You have to complete it in 1 hour. Now, why I like this is you get the exact setting, you get the exact pressure of finishing the interview as if you are really live and time is running. It's just like the exam, right? So mock really helps you to prepare, and during that mock interview you will actually time test yourself that you're not exceeding, or you can plan, in general you can plan better. So for free there are bunch of companies with some random questions which you can try, and it will also score you, which is a good thing. And then for company specific questions, this is a set. So this is what the mock interview would do. Any questions on mock, Priyank? Mock interview?
Uh, yeah, Prem, some of the mock interviews are require the user to have a premium account. So that is
Yeah. So they logged it, and then if you pay, I guess, $13 a month, they would unlock. But I'm going to tell you about the other tabs. So it gives you a lot more thing. So that is something which we can discuss at the end, to buy premium or not. But to begin with, I would say yes, you can start with the free account, and then once you finish whatever is available in the free, then you can go for premium. So let's look at the problems. Problem, how does the problem looks like, which is the most interesting part actually. So what happens here is they would, and there are a lot of other websites also apart from Lead Code which does this. But that Lead Code is quite professional, quite easy, and quite concise basically, right? So you see here that you have 1500 problems which got solved, like they were problems before. And then how many I have solved is 18 basically. I just for I was just doing something, so I just did that. Now they have divided in easy, medium, and hard problems. So we will do some hard. So what you can do is you can always filter them out. So let's say this one is the easy problem, for instance, right? Now you can have the status, if you have attempted, if you have to do whatever. So it goes with your user basically, what you are up to there, right? So I have the easy problems, and then there is something which is called as acceptance. So there are few problems which are really hard. So the acceptance level is less, let's say 77, which means if four people uh, present the solution, one would might not be able to do it. 77% might be able to finish it. So this one is a 90% thing, right? So let's go running sum of 1D array. This seems easy, and almost 90% people are able to do it. So this could be a easier one. Now in the problems also, there are few problems for which the solution, so you see solution is logged. If you are premium member, you can see lot more additional things. But let's look at the the problem. So they will define the problem in short. So initially what happens when you are starting, even to understand the problem takes time, forget about solving it. And with practice it becomes easy, because once you solve at least 50 to 100 problems from Lead Code, or maybe few problems from Lead Code, few problems from somewhere else, you would get fair idea, so you can understand this problem easily. So usually what would happen is, Priyank, you are able to see this problem, right?
right, right,
Given
right.
right. So given array numbers, we define a running sum of array as running sum, and then they are saying that whatever, for example, 1, 2, 3, 4. So you have to add this number with this, just like cumulative number, right? So 1 and then last two numbers would make 3, and then 3 plus 1 plus whatever this 3 will make it 6, and then sum of all this would, so the output would be the array which would be accumulative of whatever is the input array. And they, this is what they have showed here, that first number would be the sum of the first element, second would be the sum of first and second element, third would be the sum of first, second, and third, and so on. Right. Now the input there is, this array could have one number, zero numbers, 100 numbers, whatever numbers, but ultimately they would be expecting whatever the array in this format. So they have given beautiful examples, like three examples. They have constraints. Now you can solve it. Now this company, how many companies have asked this question? This is locked. So if you are a premium member, you can basically look at that. And then now let's try to solve it. So for solving, there are two things. First is you give it a try, and you can change the language, whichever language you are comfortable with. Basically, I am a certified Java programmer. I have done a lot of coding with JavaScript as well, basically, but still I would prefer to write in Python, because Python is quite concise, basically concise in terms of writing code and things like that. So let's try to solve this in the Python. Is it okay if we like take couple of minutes and I'll show you solution and how it fails? What are the test cases which behind the scene runs?
Right. Yes, absolutely.
Okay. So usually what would they do is, once you pick whatever, there are a lot of languages. They have PHP, Golang, JavaScript. So I picked, for example, Java. So you see the code syntax has been changed here. So they will provide you the basic code syntax to begin with. Now, what it is saying there is a method called as running sum, and you will get the input of this, and then here the method is done. And as a output, this is a symbolic way. They are expecting a list, and the list would have the output of the numbers in this format. So let's try to solve it. Now, when we solve it, uh, I have, let's say, in Python, I have to do for loop. So I will say for n in nums, and then I will say return n, and that's it. Let's say this is my code to begin with, right? And then I run the code. So now, as soon as I run the code, this would check for the speed, and then it is saying that there is some problem, type error, one is not valid value for the expected return type integer, because whatever is the first number we are returning it, we are not returning the list. So like that we will start facing some problems, and we can solve one problem after another, right? So let me try to run that code. So first solution we got, that was basically the compilation error it had. It was not even compiling, which is the worst thing. In interview you can do that, your code is even not compiling, right? So now the second problem is, because it is expecting a list, and I was returning a single number. Now I am returning a list, but the answers are right. Now how do they check that? So they have test cases behind the scene which runs, and then each test case must pass. That is how when you submit the code, they will do the acceptance or rejection. If you are premium member, you can also debug step by step. Debugging means when where the problem exactly is coming up, they will give you some hints and you can debug that also. So now let's try to solve it in the elegant way to get the proper solution. So first thing is, I am going to create a return array, or I would say the output array. You can name the variable whatever you want. So this is an empty array, and then I will say the sum, sum total, or sum element previous. let's say I have this sum previous is equal to 0. Now what I will do is at the first time I will do sum previous is equal to sum previous is equal to n plus sum previous. So its value is 0. First time when it would iterate, it would add 1 to this. And once it's add that, then I'm going to append it in the output array. Append means I will add this number into the output array. So what is happening is first time when the loop runs, first number will come here. Second time when the loop would run, what it will do is the first number and whatever is the second number, both will get added, and then that will become the second number. Third time it would be the third, like the sum of this plus the next number. Uh, I hope Priyank logic is clear. Otherwise, let me show you this and then we can discuss about that. So now let me try to run this again. I'm not returning the output array just to show you that this is again going to fail because append, so there is a spelling mistake. Now let's run this again. So this would run, but this is getting the empty array output as return. So what I am going to do is I am going to return this guy now. And let me run the code. So now it is accepted. Accepted means after whatever we did, the test cases it did 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 3 is the sum of 1 and 2, 6 is the sum of 1, 2 and this digit, and 4 is the sum of 4 plus all previous digits, right? So now we are getting that answer. Any questions here before we submit this
Okay,
solution?
this is good. This is good.
Okay. Now what we will do is, and they also have the autocomplete feature. If you, let's say when I did append instead of T, spelling mistake. So that would not happen if you will turn on the autocomplete. But I prefer initially in beginning you can do autocomplete, but for the real exam, just don't do autocomplete so that you have to yourself complete. It will give you better practice. Now I am going to submit this. So one autocomplete means the code completion which happens. Now when we submitted it, it accepted the solution and it has the status of accepted. There was no problem, it was successful. Sometime what happens that some of the test cases might fail. So it would say that this is the problem and then solution cannot be accepted and things like that. Two more important thing on which your code is based is how much memory your program is using and what is the runtime. The more the runtime is, so it has to be shorter, whatever your runtime is, and the memory usage has to be low. Based on that, you will get more basically marks basically. So what solution I have presented, it is 90, it won over 95% basically. So we are in the top 5% of in terms of the memory usage. We are using pretty decent memory usage. So this is how basically it happens. So once you do submissions, you can do also multiple submissions to check the runtime and memory usage and things like that. Now there is a discussion tab, which is really the cool thing which I loved about this, because you will get the problem on internet or in the book also, but to get the discussion helps. For example, I'm not able to solve it there, right? So what I'll do is I can just go here and type Python. Then I might be able to see what are the solutions available. For example, C++ and Python. Python basically internally uses C or converts C. That's why Python is so popular. In Linux also, it is like pretty much straightforward. It compiles, it can also internally compiles in C, right? C language. Now the solution, this guy has solution almost like what we have, but little bit different. This solution is more concise. What he is doing is he is doing the for loop with the range and then inside that he's putting those value. So he's not using those two variables which we have used here. So that is why this solution might be better than whatever the top 5%. Our solution was top 5% in terms of memory usage. It could be, one of the toppest solution probably. So this is how you improve, that how you can do the same code without even using the temporary variables to hold the value. So this code is much concise, and that's how you can see different code in the discussion. And then people also say and explain about their solution most of the time. And then this guy said, hey, you can also do things like this. Then this guy is saying few more things, there are threads, replies to reply. So reading this also gives you a very good learning and understanding. For the comments, you can always sort them by most voted or newest to oldest, or whatever. There are several ways. So the viewers and Priyank, I would always say that you must always try to use the discussion. So anything here, any more thing you need now?
Like, this is good, Prem. This is good.
Okay, wonderful. So let me, my battery is running out actually, so I might have to change. So do you see any screen now? No.
No.
Okay, I might have to reshare my screen. Let me do that. Sorry, my screen. Just a moment. Let me set it up first. Okay, wonderful. So main thing we have already covered, which was the problem area, right? How
Right.
to get these problems basically. Uh, so now, based on these problems, you would find them. There are several problems. So few people ask about algorithms. If you are junior, they might not ask you about concurrency, but sometime they might. So all these problems are categorized in shell, database, algorithm, and several other things. So you can always sort. The recommendation is you do few simple problems. Whatever I told, you can do that, right? So you don't have to wait on after you finish your PhD and then you do more learning and then you come here. No, just start, you fail, you read discussions, you try, you pass, and you move on. That is how you have to approach. And meanwhile you will learn. That is called as on job training, which means you are trying, failing, and learning, and moving ahead. So second time you solve the same problem, it becomes easy for you. And any solution like that, that will click faster in your mind. That is the key. So now we will move to the contest part of it. So contest is similar. You will have some set of problems. Let's say there is bi-weekly contest, and then there will be few programmers. Like this is the global ranking. So people from Japan, US, India, a lot of other people, even Mexico. When you contest with them, this is how you will get to know how better you are or how better those programmers are. And you can connect with them on LinkedIn. If you like their programming style, you can follow them. So it's a very good community. It's a healthy competition. So just participate it in. It's maybe you might not win in the first attempt, but if you continue, you will beat everyone and you can come up. So it's challenging and it's always good. Now coming to the Priyank, any questions on contest?
Uh, like, Prem, this is good. Contest is good.
Okay, sure. Now there is a discussion also. So what happens in discussion is if you have a question or if you have a problem or if you want to initiate a discussion on what object oriented design is or operating system or system design or whatever. So you can see these are the threads basically, right? Now, has anyone taken this full grad assessment test? Any questions, right? Now you will see how many people have viewed this. So there are, I guess, 170,000 people have seen this, and then this is called as the upvoting. 800 people liked it basically. People can downvote. You might also see some voting in zero and also like less. Like Google iOS interview. This guy has initiated this thread and there is no reply. Let's check what this guy is saying. He's saying Microsoft online assessment questions. So he has shared all this, and then there is a discussion which is happening on. So follow these discussion, minimum deletions to make frequency of each letter unique. So there will be some discussion around that. So this is pretty much it about the discussion section. Now coming back again to the explore section. So in explore, the beautiful thing which they have added now is learn. Now, for example, you want to learn about arrays. So what, and there are linked list. After linked list, there is binary. After that, there is recursion. And these are one of the recursion one level two. And then binary search. So these are primarily the algorithm based important topics which you need to cover. Now, when you come and start solving the problem, you might have no idea how to do arrays and all. So now Leet Code provides you the basic introduction of how it is done, and then they have a tutorial also. So you can go through this, you will learn, you will solve the problem, inserting items in an array, how to do that. So here they have told, for example, basic array operations. So this is how, and this is language agnostic, which means you learn the concept here, then you can look on YouTube or Google or any other tutorial. It has to follow the same thing, but the syntax might be a little bit different in Java versus Python versus C++ or any other language. So that is how this one is. And then they also showed a simple problem, duplicate zeros. The problem, the solution, how they did it with the duplicating zero, and then they also showed you some hints. So you can always use the hint to solve this problem. So they will teach you the concept, then they will also give you some problems to solve, so that can solidify your understanding. So to you personally, Priyank, I would say go to explore, go to these learnings, and then brush up or at least understand all these concepts, because most of the problems are using one of these concepts. They are using arrays or maps or linked list, binary tree, recursion, all that. It might take some time, but it's a good thing. Then they also have challenges every month coming up, so you can always take part in the challenge, and then you can start solving, and it's a boost to the mind and a treat when you achieve those challenges. So that is pretty much it. Rest all things are self-explanatory here. Whatever they have featured, the learnings or the top interview questions, if you will go here, they have a collection of what are the top interview questions. So this is how it would go. Either you would be asked about array, strings, linked list, trees, sorting, searching. There is some dynamic programming, and then there is some system design also, and some other concepts. So that is how they would tell you to design something, and here the minimum stack. This is a problem related to that. So solving this problem before interviewing, before taking up the challenge, and before taking up actually the mock interview is a good idea. And then you can practice to see in mock interview how you are doing. Once you're confident that you're doing good in mock interviews, just go and appear for the exam. One more thing which I would like to ask is, once you perform better here in top rankings, so the Google and Facebook, all those companies look at your ratings and how much you're solving here, and they also try to offer you based on these rankings. and a lot of people got absorbed. So it also gives you a very good visibility. And last thing is they have store, which is wherein you can redeem whatever points you earn by solving the problems in getting a t-shirt, or they have some goodies basically which you can redeem your points against whatever number of points you have. And then coming back to the last topic, which is should I buy the premium membership, which we actually started in the beginning. So my idea is, if you are super serious, and it's an investment in career in terms of time and a little money, right? So time, if you have, then you should use premium. It's just $159 yearly, which is hardly $13 a month. But the learning which you will get by solving is huge and tremendous. But having said that, before buying the premium, just finish the basic thing, whatever are available for free over there. And then once you are comfortable with it, you exhaust whatever is the freely available thing. Then you take the next step, buy premium, and then it will benefit you. Otherwise it would be just waste of money in terms of I have seen people, they would buy and then they'll say, hey, I don't have time to do that, and that entire money goes for waste. So at least for a month, if you're regular, if you're using this site suits you, you are getting the hack of it, hold of it, then go ahead, invest $13 a month, no big deal. This will take you to the next level of programming if you keep practicing in a proper way using this tool. So now I'll take a halt, and then Priyank, you can do some of the thinking, and then whatever questions you might have, we can cover them in a sequence.
Okay. Now, thank you, Premji. Thank you so much for going over all the different modules. So many of my questions have already been answered, but there are two questions which I want to ask you. The first question is that to like which all concepts one needs to know to be able to answer, like, let's say almost the entire set of questions in leetcode.com. For example, the question that you solved, that required somebody to have a knowledge of lists in Python, because Python does not have arrays. Python has lists. So I know lists. I have already studied lists. I was able to understand it, but I don't have, I have not studied data structures, algorithms, machine learning, and all. So like, how can I solve problems and learn these concepts in parallel? And which all concepts should I know before I can be ready for a job interview?
Okay, wonderful. So what I would go is, first, you would have to start with array or list, like similar concept based on language. Second, you have to know set and map. Set, map, and list and strings. These are the four things. As a beginner, if you are starting anywhere, these are the four things which will get you good offers from B level companies. B level means you will get very decent package and everything with these four things if you have mastered. Now, once you will do that string, list, set, and maps, you have to solve a lot of problems on lead code, or do practice on them thoroughly, like thoroughly, right? So that will make a very good position. You can clear the phone interview rounds and the initial rounds. Now the much advanced topics, in which they would say linked list, and then trees, basically binary trees, linked list. Then they might ask you for the recursions and graphs. These are the four which are a little bit advanced topic. They might be asked in second round, third round, or n number, like fifth round, whatever, on-site interviews. Or they can be asked in the first round itself in companies like Google or very hi-fi tech savvy companies, right? So I would say just brush up these four things first, whatever I told you: list, set, map, basically. And then start solving all the problems. And whatever thing you are learning first, for example, you are learning lists or arrays, solve at least 20 problems of that, then move to the set, solve 20 problems, then move to map, then move to linked list. After linked list, you move to trees. And linked list also, there is a doubly linked list and singly linked list connected way, right? So you have to do both ways, linked list, and there will be several problems. Because if you think you will do every, and machine learning is not a requirement as a programmer, and it doesn't come into the algorithm part. So once you do this, then you have to learn some of the algorithms is like there are search algorithms, and then basically there are few algorithms. You will get the list easily on lead code and also on internet, which they might ask. For example, sorting algorithms, bubble sort, how to do that. Then they have several other kind of sortings, six or seven in general. If you you okay, I'll let me also tell you a very good resource which is available on my GitHub. Let me take you there. So if you go to github.com/prem Aseem, so here you will find that whatever the algorithms are there, I have already solved them, and then the code is also available in different languages. One is in Java and one is also in Python. So let's go algorithm and data structure in Java. If you go here, you have to go to source, and then I have shared the code of the dynamic programming and also binary search, some basic Java concepts, coding challenges, and things like that. So let me take you here, me/Premasin. So the algorithm which I was talking about is binary search, bubble sort, insertion sort, merge sort, quick sort, recursion, selection sort. For example, bubble sort. So if you come here, I have provided the code and also a little bit of explanation that how this sorting would work. So first thing is understanding that concept, how that sorting would work. Second thing is, once you understand that, then you have to write that in the code. So the code I have also made it available on my GitHub code repository. This is the simplest code by doing two for loops, or we call as nested for loops, to solve this. Now this thing is in Java. Now if you are not a Java programmer, you don't have to be disappointed, because I have also shared this in the Python. So for that you have to go to the Python playground, which is here. So once you come here, you can see a lot of these questions, which I have also shared in Python, the algorithms, for example, here. So you have sorting, searching, recursion, linked list, hashing, and trees, everything covered. For example, if you go sorting algorithms, bubble sort, and I have provided multiple implementation of these. How you can do bubble sort. Same thing I am showing here. So this is a nested for loop, and then this is how it works. However, in Python, you would say it's straightforward code. You just see it, you love it. I mean, that's how I love Python a lot, because it's very concise code, and you get what you want in a very optimized way. That's why it's available there. So we are going to also share both of these repository links, so the viewers can take benefit of the code and the concepts. Particularly they'll get the kind of syllabus by themselves, what they have to do. Now in Python playground, I have also shared some of the questions which usually they ask in interviews. So MongoDB is a company in database. I am also a certified MongoDB programmer, right? So and there is a Indeed company. So when they interviewed me, I cleared their round, but this is the question which they asked, and this is the solution which I did. So it is also available on the basically my website, my GitHub website. So this is the problem statement and how I solved it. That is available there. So with the company wise, you can see interview questions. Apart from it, I have also created a cheat sheet. Cheat sheet is something before interview you can quickly see, because there are few functions which will save you a lot of time. For example, finding the max of two numbers, or any number in the array, for example. If you have a big array and you have to find one number which is max, so this function will give you just in like one word code, and you will get the answer. So you don't have to do for loop, compare each number, and then get the output. That is the beauty of Python. Same thing is with the string operation. If I have to strip off the empty space, or I have to do reverse of a string, or I have to do some operations with the list, or I need to do some proper printing tricks, this is how the arrays or lists uses here. Whatever the inverting the list or sorting the list. Mm, and then customized array, for example, you have a specific object, it's not just a string, then how would you do that? So this is how you can sort an array based on the custom key. So and also the matrix, if you get a math related problem, especially matrix and all, how you could solve that. So this cheat sheet has been really helpful. It also has things related to map and set and some of the code. How would you do that? It's something which is at one common place. It's not scattered. And if we have notes at 7 places before the interview, it becomes hard. So that's why I keep it here. So it's helpful for the other people also, and particularly for me also. Right. So that is, yeah, that is and if you will go in the
Okay.
concept.
Thank you, Benji.
Yeah, if you will go in the concept, I have put lot of concepts like asynchronous function, and then enums, how this enum thing function, generators, import concept, inheritance, looping, multiprocessing, oops concept, how to do the shell programming using Python, or how to call Python in shell, and the interaction, some recursion, and lot of other cool things here, expiring dictionaries. So because I have a good experience, good amount, like maybe 5 years in Python. So whenever I'm learning something, I would just first do a POC, and then I put or push that code in GitHub repository, so I can refer it later, and it's helpful for other people as well. Sometime what happens, the Python is coming up with new version, and then sometime these things get obsolete or deprecated, which is maybe 5-10% or sometime more. So they might not work if you will see something which I have shared or written 5 years back, but there will be minor changes, so you could always see that. However, this is all latest, you see here, this is all recent, like with, so everything should work here, so you can just take it as it, without even thinking that would this work or not. In Java also, what is happening is Java 11 is a little bit different than how it used to be in Java 7, 8, 9, uh, whatever the older version. So sometime there might be some backward compatibility issues, right? Yeah, so that is there. That is pretty much there. You guys can use lead code, and you guys can also clone this repository. You can fork this repository, or just mark a star. Like here, if you go and mark the star, this would help you to get this repository basically handy. So just mark a star whenever you open these repositories. They're really helpful, and they'll help you to become a better programmer.
Thank you, Penji. So my next question is that once I start solving problems on leetcode.com, can I show my progress on my resume? Like each time I send out a resume, can I mention it in my resume that I have solved these many problems? Like, is it something that people do, or is it that I just mention that I have a leetcode.com account?
Look, how would I assume this is you can, of course, based on your experience level or wherever you are trying to apply, right? But at my level, when I say, hey, I'm a programmer, and then based on my resume, they'll shortlist and give me the program to solve. And then if I solve, they'll select, otherwise, they'll reject, right? So how much you are prepared, you don't have to necessarily, or you can tell them, but that is not usually people would do that. I have solved 5 problems from lead code, which are 3 are medium, one is difficult, and one is this, like not that required. But in case if you have fresher resume, you have nothing much to share, then you can say I have done this Udemy course, and I have done some sample project on the GitHub, which is working code, and then this do this. I have done this project for this community college or wherever. That adds more value than just showing that I have uh, solved some random 5 or 15 questions. However, if you have really nothing to show in the resume, you could say yes, you have solved some what I would say, if you win some contest or if you have some result of the coding challenge from Leet Code, show that you ranked in top 100 people or top 10 people in Leet Code so and so contest or somewhere. That would can be presented as a highlight, some achievement in there.
Okay, okay. That makes sense. Uh, and so my next question is, generally speaking, how much time does it take to solve a program? Like the program you solved today was like 2 minutes, 3 minutes was enough. But if we go into the harder programs with um, searching and sorting algorithms involved, like
No, no, yeah, go ahead.
so like in general, as a beginner, how many programs should I aim to solve every day? Like five is a good number or 10 is a good number? Because I'm also learning concepts in parallel. So
So I would say what program I have solved in 2 minutes, right? With practice, you can solve it in 2 minutes. With practice, the difficult question you can solve in 2 minutes also. It's not how much time you spend in writing, it's how much time you spend in thinking. Now, I have thought about it beforehand, and when I was like trying to solve it, it took me about 10 minutes to solve that easy problem. Usually company would give you 15 minutes to half an hour. Usually they would give you half an hour and they would say they'll give you two problems to solve. If you can solve two, then they will give you additional problem also. But if you're not even able to solve one problem, then you're done, like you're done, just something like that. So 15 minute is a sweet spot for solving any easy, difficult or medium whatever kind of problem is there. So and with practice the time will reduce, right? So you might take at least whatever problem I solved, even to understand that initially it might take you an hour, right? I am just telling you some different, you will read it, try it, and then test case will fail and this and that and concept. So don't get disheartened. To begin with, if you solve two problems, spend 2 hours to 3 hours, it is a good number, like good investment of time. But after that like before the interview or whatever, the ideal spot is not do more than, like, usually do 5. If you have full time available, do 5 problems every day. Fine. And once you solve 100 problems in Lead Code, you would be pretty much ready to start appearing for the company interviews. You just apply here and there, you just participate in the contest and get a good ranking, and then you will get good visibility. And that's how you will attract more and more company offers or the interviews. Nowadays there are company, they value more on your problem solving skill rather than how much theoretical knowledge or degrees you have. And the best example is Tesla. They are getting people who can do neat programming, and they are not even 10th grade, that's fine, they'll hire them. But if you are PhD but you cannot solve or understand the problem, or you cannot solve that problem in that 15-minute time or half an hour, then they would say no thanks for your PhD and best of luck. Did
no,
I answer question? Like 5 is a good number every day, but to begin with, if you are also doing other things, set aside at least 3 to 4 hours each day, and based on that time, whatever you are doing, try to do it cleanly. It's not just sake of doing. Ha! I am done. My target is done. No, just go to the foundation, because initially it would take more time, but later on it would take less time. That is what our aim is, to solve the problem first, in time second, and third is optimized way. If you solve the problem but you don't have the understanding of optimized level solution, they will trick you during the on-site interview or the third round or fourth round. So when you're building foundation, just build foundation, look at couple of YouTube videos around that same concept itself when you're running, in how many ways a same problem can be solved. Also look around for that. Look in the discussion also, how many uh, people have solved it in a different way and approach. So that will, broaden your horizon. And those solutions will make you write optimized code.
Okay. Uh, and no, thank you, Premji. And one last thing I wanted to ask you is that when we appeared for job interviews and they ask us to write codes, do we have to include comments in the code or not during the on-site interview?
So there are two school of thought. First is anyway the time is in crunch, right? And then writing additional thing and for the code which doesn't work, it doesn't even make sense. So what you do is you write the concise code and provide them the working solution. That is what will give you better merits in front of them. That's what my thought is. And then you can ask them, do you want me to optimize this solution or do you want me to decorate this solution? Writing comments is at times the decoration, but to begin with, when whatever your problem solving approach is, you can ask them or you can write down an algorithm. First I will do this, second point, third point, is this okay? They'll say yeah, go ahead. They'll say can you do something more elegant? Then you can change the algorithm and present it before solving that. So that is how you can speak and but write few words, because don't try to save time. Less words, more work. Less typing, more output. Right?
Right, right, right. Okay. Okay. No, thank you so much, Premji. I think we have covered all major questions.
Yeah, and to all the viewers, thanks for watching. It's almost an hour long video, and we'll keep you posted. Now, if you will go on my YouTube video channel, I have also shared a lot of this thing, uh, problem solutions as well. Let me show you that. Just a moment. So if you go on YouTube and if you will write Prem Aseem, you will stumble upon my channel. So first thing I would recommend is you just subscribe this channel, my channel, and then if you go to a playlist, you will see there are some uh, coding challenges. So if you go to this, so I have lot of things, like I have also explained about graph data structure, how is it, and then I have the Python tutorial, like few videos. Mongo tutorial is a big hit, it went viral actually. I also have full stack Java training over here. But if you go to coding challenge, this is a
Hi
playlist
friends, coding challenge make
which has lot of different codes, like inserting the element in sorted order in linked list, heap, hash map, how the hash map actually works, insertion is unique implementation. So you'll find a lot of such videos which will be helpful for you to understand, or I am walking through the code and the solution and lot of things. So keep an eye on these coding challenges videos which I usually publish on YouTube channel. So yeah, I will also share the code challenge playlist and the YouTube link in the video. So feel free to use that resource as well.
Okay.
Fine.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
So are you all excited and charged up for your preparation, Priyank?
Yeah, I am like definitely. I have some targets. So like what you said, 3 to 4 hours a day and 1 to 2 problems to start with. So definitely I would, and I have about 10 months to complete my degree, and maybe 5 or 6 months through it, I will start my job search also. So I think I have not a lot of time, but enough time to cover. Good,
Yeah,
continue.
and if you are working on like web development, and if you are doing Angular or React JS, and if you are comfortable with JavaScript, you could always pick JavaScript also. It is also a good language and pretty fast and upcoming, catching up the market like pretty much nicely. It's just that
Right,
their coding is little bit ugly because they have lot of brackets and all. That is why now they have CoffeeScript or TypeScript, which is trying to make the code less fragile. So I have worked with Yahoo also in YUI. I have worked on their proprietary UI framework 10 years back. So yeah, it's just a good option also, JavaScript.
right. Yeah, but you know, my school offers only four languages: Python, Java, C hash, and Swift. Five languages. So JavaScript, maybe I can do some online classes if I want to learn.
Sure, then go ahead with Python, and I am also appearing for the Python examination actually. It is called as Python Certified Associate Programmer, and also I'll go with a professional programmer certificate. So what I would say is, yeah, I can guide you once you like are deep into this. Probably sometime we can meet, and I can guide you on the Python certification preparation and things like that also.
Okay, sure, absolutely.
Okay, Priyank. So
Okay,
all the best. Yeah, and to all the viewers, all the best to you guys also. I hope Priyank's questions and my answers and all this session would have enlightened you or given you some insights on how you can use Leet code to learn programming, solve problems, do mock interviews, participate in contests, and then you can go to my GitHub to see some kind of concepts and coding challenges on my YouTube, and all these resources will help you. With that hope, hope to see you in our next video, and please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you. Bye.
okay.
Bye,
Thank you
Priyank.
so much, friends.